Imagine a world where the margin between peace and catastrophe is measured not in hours or even minutes, but in seconds. A world in which a missile can be launched, cross continents, evade every known defense system, and strike its target before decision-makers have time to confirm what is happening. This is not a hypothetical future. This is the strategic reality being shaped right now by hypersonic weapons, systems that many defense analysts believe could fundamentally redefine warfare, deterrence, and global stability. The term hypersonic is often misunderstood. It is tempting to reduce it to a simple benchmark, Mach 5, 5 times the speed of sound. But that figure alone does not capture why hypersonic missiles represent such a disruptive leap. Speed is only one component. What truly distinguishes hypersonic weapons is their ability to combine extreme velocity with sustained atmospheric flight, maneuverability, and unpredictable trajectories. These characteristics break the assumptions upon which modern missile defense systems were built. Traditional ballistic missiles follow relatively predictable arcs. Once launched, their trajectory can be calculated, tracked, and, at least in theory, intercepted. Hypersonic weapons, by contrast, operate in a gray zone between ballistic missiles and cruise missiles. They fly lower than ballistic missiles, faster than cruise missiles, and unlike both, they can maneuver aggressively throughout their flight. This combination compresses reaction time, complicates detection, and undermines interception. For decades, air and missile defense has relied on layered systems: early warning satellites, ground-based radars, interceptor missiles, and command and control networks designed to work in sequence. Hypersonic weapons disrupt this entire chain. Their low-altitude flight reduces radar detection ranges. Their speed shortens engagement windows. Their maneuverability invalidates predictive tracking models. The result is a widening gap between offensive strike capabilities and defensive countermeasures, a gap that no military power has yet been able to close. This brings us to the global competition. Who is actually ahead in the hypersonic race? Russia is often portrayed as the frontrunner. Systems such as Avangard and Kinzhal are frequently cited by Russian officials as proof of operational superiority. Avangard, a hypersonic glide vehicle deployed atop an intercontinental ballistic missile, is designed to re-enter the atmosphere at extreme speeds and maneuver unpredictably toward its target. Russian leadership has repeatedly claimed that Avangard renders existing missile defenses obsolete. Kinzhal, on the other hand, is an air-launched hypersonic missile, typically carried by modified MiG-31 aircraft. Its key advantage lies in flexibility and speed of deployment. By launching from an aircraft, Kinzhal gains additional range and complicates early detection. However, despite high-profile claims, real-world performance remains contested. Reports from recent conflicts suggest that while Kinzhal is fast and difficult to intercept, it may not be as invulnerable as advertised. China presents a different model altogether. Rather than emphasizing public declarations, Beijing has focused on sustained testing and incremental improvement. Programs such as the DFZF Hypersonic Glide Vehicle and the experimental Starry Sky 2 platform indicate a long-term, methodical development strategy. Chinese test frequency has drawn the attention of Western analysts, many of whom now believe that China may be approaching a level of maturity that rivals, or even exceeds, that of its competitors. China's advantage lies not only in engineering but also in strategic patience. Instead of rushing systems into service, Beijing appears intent on refining performance, reliability, and integration into broader military doctrine. This approach reduces risk and increases confidence in eventual deployment. As a result, China is increasingly viewed as a serious contender, if not the quiet leader, in the hypersonic domain. The United States, by contrast, finds itself in an unfamiliar position. Historically dominant in advanced military technologies, Washington has struggled to translate its research advantage into operational hypersonic systems. Programs such as the Air-Launched Rapid Response Weapon, ARRW, and the Hypersonic Air-Breathing Weapon Concept, HAWC, were designed to close the gap. Yet recent test failures have exposed the complexity of the challenge. These failures are not trivial. Each unsuccessful test delays deployment, increases costs, and raises questions about technical feasibility. More importantly, they have strategic implications. The credibility of deterrence depends not only on intent, but on capability. When a major power experiences visible setbacks in a critical domain, adversaries take note. Allies do as well. At the heart of these difficulties are profound technological challenges. For combustion, they offer sustained powered flight but require precise conditions to operate. Achieving stable combustion at hypersonic speeds is one of the most difficult problems in aerospace engineering. Glide vehicles, by contrast, do not rely on propulsion during their hypersonic phase. Instead, they are launched by rockets to high altitudes and then descend through the atmosphere at extreme speeds, using aerodynamic lift to maneuver. While simpler in some respects, glide vehicles face their own challenges, particularly in guidance and control during prolonged atmospheric flight. Perhaps the most unforgiving obstacle is heat. At hypersonic speeds, air compression and friction generate temperatures that can exceed those found on the surface of the sun. Materials must withstand not only heat, but also intense pressure and structural stress. Thermal protection systems must perform flawlessly. A single weakness can lead to catastrophic failure. Several recent U.S. test failures are believed to be linked to these exact issues. Guidance and targeting compound the problem. Hypersonic vehicles generate plasma clouds that interfere with communication and sensor systems. Maintaining situational awareness at such speeds is extraordinarily difficult. Hitting a fixed target requires precise navigation. Hitting a moving target requires real-time data processing under extreme conditions. This remains one of the least mature aspects of hypersonic technology. These technical realities feed directly into strategic consequences. For decades, nuclear deterrence has been based on mutual vulnerability and assured retaliation. Early warning systems provided time, however limited, for leaders to assess threats and respond. Hypersonic weapons compress or eliminate that time. The possibility of a decapitating first strike becomes more plausible, destabilizing long-standing assumptions. The concept of first strike advantage, largely suppressed during the Cold War, has returned to strategic discourse. A weapon that cannot be reliably intercepted creates incentives for preemption. Even if never used, the perception of such capability alters behavior, increases suspicion, and heightens the risk of miscalculation. Some analysts argue that recent U.S. setbacks provide a temporary stabilizing effect by slowing the pace of competition. Others contend the opposite, that these failures may encourage rivals to push harder, widening asymmetries rather than reducing them. History suggests that technological races rarely slow down voluntarily. Looking further ahead, the integration of hypersonic systems with space-based assets represents a potential next phase. Orbital sensors, space-based tracking, and even fractional orbital bombardment concepts blur the line between air, space, and missile warfare. As hypersonic weapons evolve, they may become part of a broader ecosystem of rapid global strike capabilities. This raises difficult questions about arms control. Existing treaties were not designed with hypersonic systems in mind. Verification is difficult. Definitions are ambiguous. Enforcement is uncertain. Yet without some form of regulation, the risk of uncontrolled escalation grows. At the same time, defensive countermeasures are becoming an urgent priority. Space-based infrared sensors, new radar architectures, artificial intelligence-driven tracking systems, and next-generation interceptors are all under development. But defense is chasing offense, and for now, offense appears to be moving faster. Which leads us to the fundamental question: do hypersonic weapons make the world safer or more dangerous? Do they reinforce deterrence by raising the cost of conflict, or do they undermine stability by reducing decision time and increasing uncertainty? The answer remains unresolved. What is clear is that hypersonic weapons represent more than a new class of missiles. They are a catalyst for strategic change. They challenge doctrines, technologies, and assumptions that have governed international security for generations. Whether this leads to a more stable equilibrium or a more volatile world will depend not only on engineering success, but on political judgment. Thank you for watching Top Strategist. If you found this analysis insightful, please support the channel by liking the video and subscribing. Your engagement enables us to continue delivering in-depth, critical examinations of the strategic forces shaping the future of global security.